Dear delegates, on behalf of the Mauritius Revenue Authority, I extend a very warm welcome to all of you to the Integrated Customs Clearance Center for this important gathering, one dedicated to strengthening cooperation, sharing intelligence, and most importantly, turning information into action. Today marks the launching ceremony of the 23rd Administrative Meeting for National Contact Points of the WCO Regional Intelligence Liaison Office, East and Southern Africa. This gathering brings together people behind the intelligence, the eyes, the ears, and the analytical minds, working across borders to disrupt the movement of prohibited goods and protecting our society. Every seizure begins with a piece of intelligence. Every successful intervention begins with someone who saw the signal, connected the dots, and acted. And in our line of work, when intelligence moves faster than the threat, we win. So without any further delay, please join me to welcome our first speaker, Mr. Siteni Nkube, Head of WCO RILO ESA, for his opening remarks. Mr. Siteni, please.
It is both a privilege and honor to welcome you to the National Contact Persons meeting for the East and Southern Africa, hosted by Mauritius Revenue Authority here in this beautiful island of Mauritius. On behalf of the RILO ESA, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to the government of Mauritius, and in particular, the Mauritius Revenue Authority, for the warm hospitality, excellent arrangements, and unwavering support in hosting this important regional gathering. Mauritius has consistently demonstrated its commitment to regional cooperation, customs modernization, intelligence-led enforcement, and we are grateful for the continued partnership. I would also like to warmly welcome all our national contact points, WCO representatives, partner agencies, and distinguished guests who have joined us from across the region and beyond. Your presence here reflects our shared commitment to strengthening customs intelligence and enhancing regional efforts to combat illicit trade and transnational crime. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of this year's meeting is collaboration, intelligence-led vigilance. Our commitment to a safer society could not be more timely. Across East and Southern Africa, as indeed across the world, we are witnessing increasingly sophisticated criminal networks exploiting globalization, technology, e-commerce platforms, supply chains, postal services, maritime routes, and air transport systems to facilitate the movement of illicit goods. These networks do not recognize national borders, and therefore our response cannot be confined within them. Whether it is narcotics trafficking, counterfeit and substandard medicines, IPR rights violations, environmental crime, wildlife trafficking, illicit financial flows, and revenue fraud, the threats we face are interconnected, adaptive, increasingly intelligence-driven. To effectively counter them, customs administrations must become more collaborative, more agile, more intelligence-led in their approaches. This is why the role of NCPs is so critical. As NCPs, you are the vital link between your administrations and regional intelligence network. You facilitate the flow of information, coordinate intelligence exchange, disseminate alerts, support joint operations, and contribute to the customs enforcement network. The effectiveness of RILO ESA depends greatly on your dedication, responsiveness, and professionalism. While we have recorded important achievements as a region, we must also acknowledge that much remains to be done. The quality, completeness, and timeliness of seizure reporting continue to vary across member states. Some administrations continue to contribute significantly to regional intelligence products, while others face challenges related to capacity, systems, or resources. Addressing these gaps is essential if we are to build a comprehensive and reliable regional intelligence picture. Over the next few days, we will reflect on our performance, share best practice, discuss emerging threats, and identify practical ways to strengthen our intelligence and enforcement capabilities. We will examine how we can improve the use of WCO tools, enhance data quality within strengthen information exchange, operationalize legal cooperation mechanisms, and leverage new technologies to support smarter and more effective enforcement. We would also want to use this meeting as an opportunity to learn from each other. Every administration represented here has unique experiences, successes, and challenges. By sharing these experiences openly, we strengthen not only our individual administrations, but also the collective security and prosperity of our region. Colleagues, intelligence has little value if it's not shared. Information has little impact if it's not acted upon. Collaboration remains our greatest force multiplier. When we share information in a timely manner, when we analyze it collectively, and when we act upon it decisively, we become more effective in protecting our borders, safeguarding legitimate trade, preserving government revenue, and protecting our communities from harmful effects of illicit trade. As we deliberate during this meeting, let us remain guided by our common purpose and our collective responsibility to build a safer society for our citizens. Allow me once again to thank the Mauritius Revenue Authority for hosting us and to thank each of you for your continued commitment to objectives of the RILO, ESA, and the WCO. I wish you productive discussions, meaningful engagements, and a successful meeting. Together, through collaboration and intelligence-led intelligence, we can make our region safer, stronger, and more resilient. I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Nkube, for these insightful and inspiring opening remarks. Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now hear from Mr. Adrian Suarez, Deputy Director, Enforcement, WCO. Mr. Suarez, please.
On behalf of the Secretary General of the World Customs Organization, Mr. Ian Sanders, I would like to sincerely thank the Mauritius Revenue Authority and RILO East and Southern Africa for organizing this 23rd National Contact Point meeting here in this beautiful country. We are also greatly honored and privileged to have with us the Financial Secretary, which shows how meaningful or how important this occasion is to the government of Mauritius. It is also a great pleasure and an important privilege for me to participate in this meeting in my capacity as a Deputy Director of Enforcement, Facilitation and Technology at the WCO. I particularly find it important because I have a personal dimension with this particular region. This is a region which I have a connection with from my time within the region before I joined the WCO's Secretariat. Since the establishment of the first RILO Intelligence Liaison Office in 1987, the RILO network has developed into a truly global customs intelligence network. Over these decades, RILO has demonstrated that they are much more than a regional coordination point. They are a force multiplier for customs administrations, collecting and analyzing intelligence, connecting national and regional information, supporting operations, facilitating mutual administrative assistance, developing risk indicators and intelligence products, and helping transform information into operational results. This role has never been more important. The nature of illicit trade is changing rapidly. Criminal networks are increasingly agile, technology-enabled, and capable of operating across multiple jurisdictions and supply chains. Therefore, addressing illicit trade is not merely a matter of enforcement. It is fundamental to safeguarding the economic resilience, promoting sustainable growth, and protecting public welfare. This is why the WCO has dedicated 2026 to the theme, Customs Protecting Society through Vigilance and Commitment. The theme underscores the essential role of customs in safeguarding security, public health, and supply chain integrity. It highlights the importance of intelligence-driven approaches, the use of modern technologies, and stronger partnerships. And in recent years, the WCO has intensified its efforts to support members in strengthening their enforcement capabilities. The WCO's most recent analysis, presented in the Illicit Trade Report for the year 2025, commonly known as the ITR, shows that criminal networks are becoming more agile and digital. E-commerce has emerged as the major channel for illicit trade, accounting for nearly 50% of all reported cases. Risk profiling remains the most effective detection method, responsible for 84% of IPR cases, 79.6% of weapons detections, and 65% of wildlife and timber cases. E-commerce is not simply a trade issue anymore. It is an enforcement issue, an intelligence issue, and increasingly a societal protection issue. In response to the challenges posed by the rapid growth of e-commerce, the WCO has launched a dedicated enforcement e-commerce CENCOM platform, which will serve as a centralized hub for information related to customs enforcement in the context of e-commerce. This platform will consolidate relevant information, including training materials, tools, instruments, and operational practices across all enforcement domains linked to e-commerce. Another important initiative is Operation Stop, which focuses on intercepting and seizing counterfeit and substandard medicines and other products sold through e-commerce, and thereby threatening public health and intellectual property rights. Let me highlight one area which I would like to see even stronger engagement from RILO ESA and from all national contact points. That is the effective use of the WCO Customs Enforcement Network, CEN and CENCOM. The CEN platform is not simply a database. It is one of the foundations of our collective enforcement intelligence. Every seizure reported by a member can potentially contribute to identifying a trend, a modus operandi, a route, a concealment method, a commodity risk, or a connection between seemingly unrelated cases. CENCOM, in turn, provides a secure environment for the operational exchange of information among members and partners. I would therefore encourage RILO ESA to continue working closely with its NCPs to improve the quality, timeliness, and completeness, as well as analytical value of CEN data. This should include identifying gaps in reporting, promoting common approaches, developing regional risk indicators, and where appropriate, producing regional analytical products that can be transformed into concrete operational action. Much of the WCO Secretariat's work relates to is usually taking place behind the scenes, from coordinating international enforcement operations, to developing enforcement tools, to analyzing global trends, to delivering capacity building and technical assistance. Much of this work may not always be visible to the broader public. Yet behind every successful operation, there is often a significant amount of intelligence work, coordination, and information exchange. This is why our cooperation with the RILO network is so important. It always provides an important foundation for the WCO's communication and awareness-raising activities under the 2026 theme. Dear colleagues, let me conclude with a simple message. The WCO Secretariat needs the RILO network, and the RILO network needs active engagements from its members. For RILO ESA, I would particularly encourage 3 areas of action. Firstly, strengthening the intelligence contribution, improve the quality and timeliness of SEN reporting, identify regional trends, and ensure that intelligence is transformed into actionable risk information. Second, engage more actively in WCO operations and CENCOM initiatives. I would particularly encourage RILO ESA and its NCPs to actively participate in Operation Stop 5 and engage the enforcement e-commerce CENCOM alongside other enforcement operations and initiatives addressing counterfeit goods, dangerous substances, drugs, environmental crime, and other emerging threats. Third, become an even stronger regional partner in WCO modernization. Bring the regional perspective to the Secretariat, test new approaches, engage with relevant external partners, and help us ensure that our tools and programs respond to the realities faced by customs administrations on the ground. The strength of the RILO network has always been its people, experienced customs officers, and analysis, national contact points, and regional experts who are willing to share information, build trust, and work together across borders. I am confident that this 23rd National NCP meeting will further strengthen the spirit of cooperation and provide us with practical solutions to the challenges ahead. Let us use this meeting not only to exchange experiences, but to identify concrete actions. Let us improve the way we share intelligence. Let us make better use of SEN and CENCOM. Let us increase our collective engagement in WCO operations, particularly in the rapidly evolving e-commerce environment. And let us ensure that RILO ESA remains a strong, visible, and forward-looking partner in the WCO modernization and regionalization agenda. I once again would like to thank the Mauritius Revenue Authority, RILO ESA, and all national contact points for your commitment and your continued support to the WCO. I wish you a very successful meeting and, most importantly, fruitful discussions that will translate into concrete operational results for our members and for the protection of society. Together we can build a collaborative, intelligence-driven future. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Suarez, for the strong message for our ESA region. Ladies and gentlemen, I now have the distinct honor and privilege to invite our Director General, Mr. Rohit Ramnawas, to deliver his address.
I wish you a very warm welcome to our Integrated Customs Clearance Center for the opening ceremony of this 23rd Annual Administrative Meeting for National Contact Points for Regional Intelligence Liaison Office for the East and Southern Africa, RILO ESA 2026, organized by RILO ESA. At the outset, allow me to express my sincere gratitude to our chief guest, Mr. Acharaz, Financial Secretary, for kindly accepting our invitation and honoring us with his presence to this important meeting. I also wish to sincerely thank Mr. Siteni Nkub, head of RILO East and Southern Africa, for choosing Mauritius as the host country again for holding this important RILO meeting. Indeed, this is the third time that Mauritius is hosting the RILO ESA annual administrative meeting. The first time was in 2009, and then in 2019, and now in 2026. You can see that between the first and the second, there were 10 years, and then between the second and third, 7 years, so we hope to see you well before the next 7 years. Mr. Siteni, I must extend my sincere appreciation to you for your great leadership in in conducting regional risk assessments to identify new threats, new trends in smuggling, methods of concealment, or generally the modus operandi, as well as for disseminating vital information in our ESA region. As Director General of MRA, I can proudly affirm that we will always lend our unwavering support to this mission, and we remain committed to this shared belief that protecting our borders is a collective responsibility. And I share your views that really it's a common responsibility. You know, the World Cup just finished, the Premier League has just started. We have different teams for different countries and so on. But in this fight, all countries in the region, we are all together. We are one team. My gratitude also goes to the WCO, which is being represented by Mr. Suarez here today. This year, the WCO has chosen a very powerful and timely theme: customs protecting society through vigilance and commitment. Indeed, we all are conscious of the role we play in protecting our society. Maybe society doesn't realize how important our role is, our functions is, but we are doing our best. This theme today captures the very essence, actually, of our mission. Given the evolving nature of threats, the protection of society requires more than just enforcement. It is a shared responsibility amongst us and requires intensive cooperation. Indeed, we are all united in the face of increasingly sophisticated criminal networks that exploit technology and global connectivity. If we want to dismantle these networks, we should constantly remain proactive, agile, alert, and resilient in the face of emerging threats. And one key word, I must say, which drives all officers, I'm sure, is integrity. Especially the national focal points, national contact points. Integrity is important. When you get some intelligence, you must make sure that that intelligence really remains within the confines of law enforcement officers. Once it gets out, then the mission doesn't succeed. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I also welcome our RILO counterparts here from Western Europe. We commend you for the implementation of CABA, Vehicle Concealment Library. We have taken especially good note of the interesting case you shared involving the ferry arriving in Iceland from Denmark, which was carrying a vehicle containing drugs. Just shows that traffickers and the ordinary criminals are finding innovative ways to do their business, and we should also be very innovative. We look forward to hear many similar success stories throughout the next days. I'm confident that the views, experiences, and best practices that will be shared during this meeting will be highly beneficial to the ESA region. As Director General of MRA, I have no doubt that we will benefit a lot from your experience, from your advice, and so on, and we will simply get better. Indeed, sharing of intelligence at national, regional, and international levels is a critical mechanism in order to render our enforcement actions more effective. This collaboration ensures that we make optimum use of available resources. And I know sometimes we don't have as much or many resources as we would wish, but we still have to manage with those. For instance, intelligence shared with us by French customs last year yielded in the seizure of sheets impregnated with synthetic cannabinoid, and last month we seized 18 kilograms of cannabis. Similarly, intelligence shared by the MRA with the French customs last year allowed the French customs to intercept a package containing synthetic cannabinoids. Dear national contact points, you play a crucial role for the success of our mission. You are the essential component that enables RILO to act at regional level. We are conscious that gathering information from existing sources, cooperating with law enforcement agencies, and forming this strong bridge between the national and regional level is not an easy task. We therefore applaud you for the formidable job that you are doing, and we encourage you to participate actively during this meeting. Your dedication helps secure our borders at all levels. During your deliberations this week, I encourage you to focus on actionable strategies, harness modern data sharing tools, and strengthen the personal bonds of trust that make institutional cooperation truly effective. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to conclude by saying that a well-prepared and well-equipped customs in each of our respective countries ensures the safety of the country we serve. When customs from different countries act together, we preserve the security and well-being of societies and of respective nations and the region at large. When customs in another country seizes drugs, we should feel proud that it's probably drugs that was destined to our country. So we should be thankful for every seizure that happens at all levels in every customs. Let us therefore carry forward the momentum of our successes with renewed vigor. Let us continue to innovate, adapt, and strengthen the systems that keep our society safe and our economies vibrant. Our mission is both noble and essential, even more in the modern world, as we can see. Wherever there is a border, there is customs, protecting society through vigilance and commitment. I would like to seize this opportunity to thank all the customs officers at the MRA and across the world who sacrifice family life, who often work in very difficult circumstances, and, as I said, with very limited resources in many occasions, but who always carry out their responsibilities with determination and courage. So thank you on behalf of the country. Lastly, whilst acknowledging that the work sessions over the forthcoming days will take a lot of your time and energy, ladies and gentlemen, I wish you all a very successful meeting and thank you for your kind attention.
Sir, for your address and for highlighting the importance of our continued efforts and collaboration. Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the keynote segment of our program. For this, it gives me great pleasure to invite our chief guest, Mr. Anand Singh Acharaz, Financial Secretary, to deliver his keynote address.
It is indeed an honor to welcome you all at the opening of the 23rd Annual Administrative Meeting for the National Contact Points of the Regional Intelligence Liaison Office for East and Southern Africa, here in Mauritius. This gathering marks a vital step forward in our collective efforts to enhance regional collaboration through intelligence sharing, a subject of paramount importance in today's interconnected world. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that the panel discussion during this meeting will focus on several key themes, including enhancing regional collaboration through intelligence sharing, strengthening the national contact point network, establishing effective information sharing mechanisms and protocols, building trust and cooperation among member administrations, and promoting the timely dissemination of intelligence. You will all agree with me that these topics are particularly relevant in today's context, as they directly contribute to our efforts to safeguard our economies, strengthen border security, and facilitate legitimate trade across the region. Let me quote Mr. Kofi Annan, former Secretary General of the United Nations, who said, and I quote, "Knowledge is power, information is liberating, education is the premise of progress in every society and in every family." Unquote. This statement underscores the importance of shared intelligence, information exchange in building a safer, more secure, and prosperous region. Ladies and gentlemen, at the Ministry, our daily work revolves around fostering economic development, economic thinking, managing public funds prudently, and building a sustainable future for our nation. Indeed, the same in yours. Typically, when we think of finance ministries, our minds turn to budgets, taxation, and public expenditure. However, the reality is that none of these economic strategies can succeed without securing the gateways through which our economies operate. Border control is a fundamental pillar of national development. Customs administrations do far more than collect revenues. They protect domestic markets against unfair trade practices, safeguard legitimate businesses, and serve as custodians of the supply chain security. We are currently navigating a period of intense economic pressure. Across Eastern and Southern Africa, governments are committed to building stronger economies, investing in infrastructure, and improving the quality of lives of their citizens. To achieve these goals, the effective and lawful collection of revenue is essential and key. Ladies and gentlemen, every instance of undervaluation, undetected commercial fraud, or the movement of illegal goods across our borders without the payment of applicable duties has a direct impact on national budgets. These revenue losses translate into fewer resources for funding of other essential public services like schools, hospitals, on which our people depend. Criminal networks today operate with the efficiency of well-organized businesses. They leverage modern technology, exploit discrepancies in laws and regulations, and move goods and illegal funds across borders at an unprecedented speed. They also bank on corrupt individuals that very often, and unfortunately, sometimes are inside our very systems. Combating such sophisticated operations requires innovative and collaborative approaches. This is why the WCO RILO ESA network is so vital from an economic perspective. Intelligence sharing enhances our ability to collect revenue effectively. When the relevant data is exchanged and the customs enforcement network is regularly updated, revenue leakages can be identified and addressed in a timely manner. From a policy perspective, the region is actively pursuing closer economic integration through platforms such as the African Continental Free Trade Area, SADC and COMESA. The vision is clear: to facilitate faster, cheaper, and easier trade among nations. As trade is liberalized and border procedures are streamlined, in the name of business facilitation and legitimate commerce, vigilance remains essential. It is crucial to prevent criminals from exploiting simplified procedures and gaps in border controls to move illegal goods. Striking this delicate balance is our daily responsibility. And as national contact points, you are at the forefront of managing this challenge. The solution is not to slow down legitimate trade through heavy-handed physical inspections that would potentially hinder economic growth. Instead, the adoption of intelligence-led border management strategies enable us to facilitate legitimate trade while effectively identifying and combat illicit activities. Hosting this 23rd meeting in Mauritius exemplifies our unwavering commitment to regional cooperation. Mauritius' prosperity is intrinsically linked to stability and economic well-being of the entire region. Many thanks are due to the Mauritius Revenue Authority, the WCO, the RILO, ESA Secretariat, and all partner agencies present today for their dedication to organizing this vital event. Your efforts are instrumental in strengthening our collective security and economic resilience. Over the next few days, I encourage everyone to look beyond the agenda and focus on the bigger picture. The decisions made, the trust fostered, and information sharing channels strengthened during this meeting will directly contribute to protecting the economic security of millions of people across our member states. I wish you all successful and fruitful discussions, a pleasant stay in Mauritius, and success in your deliberations.